I wonder if they're going to be able to keep their aggression. I think whichever team plays their own siege more today will be the victor.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting a tempo, setting the pace, these are things that we've talked about with a number of different teams. Yesterday it came up quite often in the match with Damwon Kia versus G2, which was, to most people, I would say, the most surprising result of them all. It was the last match of the day yesterday. And we did have a lengthy wait for it, but you know what? I think it was worth it.
Do you actually think, I mean, we talked about this during the cast, because we actually ended up casting that one. Do you really think that it was like that upsetting, given the way that... What is that voice? What are you doing?
Nothing.
All right, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna table my thought.
I think it was no. Ooh, there you go. There's the targeted ban. They had discussed the fact
We're not surprised.
that there was going to be a shield in play, and well, you get it. Not today. No shield available for the Cyclops Athlete Gaming.
Oh, another shield.
They don't
ban.
like them.
They don't like the
shields.
shields.
No, thank you. None
They're
of them today.
aware of what they don't want to play against, and that's good. So we'll get rid of the Clash of the Montaigne, and that prevents a lot. Malusi, there it is. You talked about it. Almost a guaranteed ban. So this is really interesting. We've got Thatcher in play. We've got Valkyrie in play. We've got Kaid in play.
You know what I would say? I would say that these bans, Michael, they're very funky. We've got some funky bands at play right now. I don't know.
Parker, you can't say that.
We've got some funky bands going on right now, so... So you look at it and go, what the hell's going on with these? Why are these operators not available? Well, who knows, but...
Funky bands.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Jackal. Jackal's in play. I mean, everything really that you've come to expect on the ban phase. I mean, Mira... It's just, it's an odd one for this match, for sure. 6-pick off the Jackal into a Nomad. Very different, similar but different roles. You know, Jackal's more proactive, Nomad more passive, reactive. But, you know, get rid of the roamer or at least contain the roamer. Now we've got a bottom floor defense here for Cyclops to start things off. It looks like they brought only... Okay, this is interesting. They brought one shield.
Okay.
And they put the shield in the hallway, not on elbow. So they already have a different plan than what we're used to seeing on this map.
Castling off the double doors and completely shooting out the wall. This is something... This is that will be a sight to behold.
I really like the look of this already. It looks like it's going to be an extension up into meeting and attic. I'm obviously considering that's what they're doing right now. And I want to see their final positions. That's the most important thing here. The final positioning of these players is going to be really how we understand this setup. And oh, look at that mirror window going up into dorms. Valkyrie cams all over. This is the type of setup that is facilitated by the castle, the Mira, and the Valkyrie. The abundance of information from the Valkyrie allows you to spread further, and the mirror windows gives you more hard points to hold. Now let's see how it plays out.
I don't know if they thought that there would be somebody provoking a fight by Kitchen, but the setup is still a bit too late. 30 seconds into the round, and the castle and the Mira were over by the back of attic, leading to the back tower. And you could hear all the hail of gunfire as the top of tower is going to get taken as well. T3 will go in their place, and no reinforcements remaining. The last one had been used on attic. I don't know if there's a roamer off-site that they're hoping to catch by Kitchen, as we talked about before, but KDS is sitting and waiting, watching that same angle while drones go out.
Love that camera. That's, I think, on one of the satellite dishes on the roof. No real... Oh, okay, there it is. Gatorada starts things off, and down goes Alimau. Good start for Cyclops.
Given what we saw at Team 1 yesterday, the team was very top-heavy in terms of their fragging potential. Alimau and Levy were hands down the best performers, and the rest of the team really struggled. Now, they played around those two players very effectively, but you've lost Alimau early. Losing Alimau early, losing that Nomad early, no air jabs. For a team as aggressive as we can find Cyclops, you're now going to have to send somebody on dedicated flank watch, which means that you realistically only have 3 players looking for this execute. As this is happening, though, and half of the round has been eclipsed, this is a bottom floor defense. You might have forgotten that given where the map control is being held right now from Cyclops.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because of the setup from Cyclops, I mean, you said one flank player on attack. I might even argue you need all 3 or 4 because the way this setup is made, Team 1 doesn't have a lot to work with. The shotgun from Anitun on the tower stairs will net the second kill. He'll fall back off of that knowing he doesn't need to do any more work.
Zophia's pick rate, by the way, has vanished for a lot of these teams. And instead have been running quite heavily onto the Yana, Maverick, and even Sledge being on the board. Obviously, as you can see from Team 1, they're bringing all of it. And they're going to need to clear out some of this denial that just awaits them. Levy sees the Surya gate straight ahead. There's a castle barricade next to it that they'll have to just cleave their way through. But Levy's focus is over at the moment towards Attic. Explosives go out and Suzu can get it off, but he gets down by a grenade. He'll need to be picked back up. 30 seconds remaining for the last players from Team 1 to try and pull something off. Another grenade goes in, and this barbed wire in blue goes down for the count. Levy eyeing a potential play, but Anitun so much better. BlackRay as well gets one of his own, and the secure right now not looking very good. Levy will make it so it's not flawless, but CAG take round number 1.
What a creative setup there from CYCLOPS. I love the way that they did that extension. Once again, facilitated by, or at least enabled by, the Castle, the Mira, and the Valkyrie. Those three in tandem give you so much obstruction from the Castle and the Mira, and information from the Mira and the Valkyrie. And I love the way that they use that to hard hold on their roam. We've talked about the difference between roamers that fall back and their primary job is just to waste time, they don't want to take any fights, and roamers that are actually trying to hold a position to potentially get a kill or to stop a take from in a particular location, or at least isolate a take to a different location. And that's exactly what we just saw from CYCLOPS. They had the hard roam, and it worked great. Team 1 were clearly flustered. They didn't seem to know what they wanted to do, how they wanted to address the setup, and instead, what did they do? They took Big Tower, and all died as they tried to transfer to site because the setup was really adequate for a big tower hold.
Team 1 spends so much time on parts of the map where they didn't really need to fixate on, and then got caught on the positioning of different CYCLOPS players that were far afield, as you would say.
Love that saying.
And I mean, I don't expect that this round is going to be any different. It's an upstairs defense of the dorms bomb sites, and you might notice an operator doesn't get a ton of play, making her debut. Caveira in the hands of Gatorada, and will be playing downstairs. And will we see an interrogation? I mean, the answer is, we want to.
Right.
Who doesn't want to see an interrogation? Everybody does. The question is, will we be so lucky? Will Team 1 be so unlucky? That's the question.
Jess was talking about the potential for the Cav on the desk earlier, and it is really cool to see Cav be brought out in this play. And look at that camera. Again, that's the same one we saw last round. I believe it's on a satellite dish. Great visual aid. And this is why people ban Valkyrie. This right here is you got to get rid of it. They'll find it. That's great for Team 1, but the information is still relayed.
BlackRay was also playing off of the window, and the Hibana's poised. If BlackRay looks the wrong way, Lagonis will walk away with this. Only 4 kills for Lagonis yesterday. I think Sky's mentioned that one on the desk.
Yeah.
And he just frankly needs to be better than that. We know that his potential is higher, but he needs to be able to contribute to the team a little bit stronger in terms of the scoreboard. There goes a drone, and Team 1 are now not floundering, but they're waiting very patiently, and Ali Mao gets dropped. First casualty yet again, and Anitun goes fishing for another, pulls out the pistol and engages incorrectly.
Oh no!
But here it comes!
Oh no!
An interrogation, ladies and gentlemen! Gatorada with one, and it'll pull it off, and every single member from Team 1 has been exposed, and CAG want to take advantage of this. Lagonis tries to drop as quickly as he can, and BlackRay misplays that, but that's the first casualty for CAG.
And Anitun will be picked up despite losing his fight earlier. That's thanks to Gatorada not only getting that kill in tower, but also the interrogation, forcing Team 1 to back off. Now in a 2 versus 4, this seems pretty unrecoverable. However, we've seen some miracles before. Lagonis does have Diffuser in hand, and both of these attackers have full HP. Also, Lagonis does have already in this match, we've only played 2 rounds so far, 1/4 of his kills from yesterday, so that does bode well.
CAG so far so strong in these engagements, and oh my, another spill it.
Not like this.
Neskin, where are you? Let's find it. 2 interrogations in 1 round, and they'll hunt down the last player from Team 1, Ayagator and Gatorada in that position. And why not a 3K for the Caveira as CAG goes up 2-0.
Wow, what a round from Gatorada, and the Cav is clearly the play, Parker. We've seen a lot of unconventional siege from CYCLOPS today, and you know what? It's darn impressive. I love their setup on the bottom floor. I love the way that Gatorada used Cav here, and I love the aggression from Anitun in Attic. challenging the Maverick holes as a Jaeger just willy-nilly in Attic, that's so dangerous. But it was a distraction which allowed Gatorada to get that flank off. That's teamwork. That's decisiveness. And Parker, we talked about the team that maintains their version of Siege in this match will have the advantage. Well, right now, that's CYCLOPS.
Well, and they're having fun.
Yeah.
There is so much to be said for the mentality of a team and how much you're just vibing. And CYCLOPS are having a great time. I mean, you take these 2 rounds on Oregon, you bring out Tachanka, which, by the way, is not abnormal. If you watched the match yesterday, I think the biggest example was Navi when secretly played on it. But Tachanka obviously just received a host of buffs. Not just destructive work to that LMG that he carries around,
which is way
but
better.
Also to that Shumika launcher. And how quickly they deploy, and how long the fire lasts for, and how quickly you can pull out the gadget and put it away.
Yeah, I'd say that Tachanka is a more reasonable control operator now, more similar to Smoke. The big difference, of course, still between Smoke and Tachanka is that Tachanka requires much more pre-planning. I would say the skill ceiling on Tachanka is very high, but the skill floor is also. So you have to put in that work.
Oh, excuse me.
That's not great for Team 1. A start of a first kill once again. This time, luckily, for Team 1, it's not Alamau.
Through 2 rounds so far, Team 1 has 2 kills. Not what you want to look for. Obviously, CAG is quite lopsided. In fact, there's half of the lobby at the present moment has 0 kills, or have 0 kills, rather. But that first bit of action in Small Tower will blunt any potential momentum. 1 of the 3 sets of grenades are now off of the board, and your best option for soft destruction in the sledge is additionally gone.
Look at that. They're going to use an explosive drone on that Prisma, and I think that's interesting because you need to do it to open up engagement potentials from the window. But it's a lot of investment from utility on Alimau's side. We'll see another one used here above the wall so that they can get the mute jammer later on, and that's good utility placement. BlackRay going for another fight. This time he takes the disadvantage, but Gatorada's there to support him. This teamwork on the peeking outside the building is incredible.
And he's calling for assistance, and that's not a clone, that's the real one!
Oh!
And a huge play from a flawless round as Gatorada knocks all of them down. And it's 3-0 CYCLOPS.
He walks in with the pistol out, and they are just not ready for him, Parker. In fact, I would extend that statement to the entire match so far. All 3 rounds, Team 1 have not been ready for CYCLOPS, and that's the story.
Boy, oh boy, at what point do you have to slap the pause button and settle down your team?
Right
because, I mean, I would assume so. Look at this. Comms obviously a mess. They pivot correctly, but what is Lagonis doing?
We're talking about humidifiers here is because we've seen some Siege over the last 3 rounds that really doesn't indicate anything for us on Team 1 side, only on CYCLOPS' side. And I mean, we've raved about CYCLOPS. They've got a lot going for them right now, and it's really interesting to watch. I want to know how they're going to be able to convert this kind of Siege to future matches. Right now, Team 1 do not look like they are comfortable. They have a total of 2 kills over 3 rounds.
Well, it was a flawless round.
Yeah, last one was, yeah. Now, if you want to support your favorite team or just get some esports sets, you could do so in the esports tab in the Rainbow Six shop. So there, the 8-pack set on Legion. There's a lot of really cool ones that you can check out at your leisure. And if you do end up buying one of the team skins, that's a good way to support them directly.
10 seconds left before
Back downstairs as the rotation will start anew. CYCLOPS had some success on this particular site to start things off, and they did what you'd expect them to do, but they had a Mira last time around. There's been a small change here, and I wonder if that's to try and maybe take some of the advantages of that timeout away, because the assumption would be that after you take the timeout, laundry is open again, laundry supply, they're going to go back downstairs.
Yep.
You'll be prepared for that. And the extensive roam from CYCLOPS as well.
I wonder if they're going to do the extensive roam. I'm seeing Anitun on, okay, so what he's doing is he's trying to counter the common repel up to tower, but there's no one over there right now, so that's not going to work out for him. He'll have to rotate his roam. And yeah, no, generally, CYCLOPS are playing much safer, much more passive than they have done in the previous 3 rounds. I like this, Parker, because we just saw the tactical timeout. I all but guarantee you Team 1 we're talking about the aggression. And now it's gone.
Yep.
Which is going to, I'm not going to say, not chalk your mental necessarily, but it's going to make you start thinking if you're Team 1, and it's going to put you off edge. Or on edge? Yeah.
Off edge, on edge.
What does it really mean anyway? Alamau on a Twitch, though, that means that he is looking for frags.
Yeah. He was on the Flores pick earlier on, Nomad as well, so flexing onto whichever operator they need him to play off of. In this case, Twitch has a good gun, and we've discussed this as well. What's one of the reasons why people like to bring that? Well, if you need some fragging power, NF2 is, of course, a great weapon to have that.
Yeah. It's even after the nerf, after they removed those 5 bullets, so they had a little bit more recoil. It's still a great weapon. Down goes one of the Twitch drones, though. Not a great start there for Alimau. Those are very valuable drones.
They're playing off of that bulletproof camera that's down below. So you've got 2 Evil Eyes, you've got the bulletproof cameras, you've got lots of information, and then just everything else that you can play off of too with this. The site has mostly been opened up. No elbow control, as we talked about, with the way that some teams want to hold it. So Team 1, they look like they're going to hit Freezer and the front of the site at the bottom of main stairs. That's where their focus is at the moment.
This could be a very difficult push. Oh, KDS opens it right up, though. Down goes Anitun, and that is exactly what you need. He has that shotgun that you're not going to be able to challenge directly. Levy's going to eat some damage there in the main lobby. He does manage to clear that Syria gate, though, and that's at least some progress. If Nade used to do that, though.
More grenades to get tossed on out as Gatorada will have to watch both Freezer and the main stairs, and a drop from Levy could be met with the UMP in hand of that castle. Ayagator still farther back, Alda waiting so patiently as Team 1 have the numbers advantage. And Gatorada is going to take the engagement. He gets blown up. That's martyrdom, but CAG are just cleaning up on the kill feed. Neskin in a 1v3 becomes a 1v2. He's got his work cut out for him. Enjoy that SMG-11 while it lasts there, young man. He'll patrol over towards Freezer. The 2 remaining members from Cyclops nestled in the site, and they have a crossfire established. This will have to be very crafty, but it's BlackRay to finish the deal, and it looked like things were going well for Team 1, but in the end, Cyclops picks up their 4th round through 4 rounds.
Yeah, that's impressive record so far for Cyclops. And I got to say, that setup that they're doing on the bottom floor, if it's successful a few more times, and, well, I mean, it's not going to be in regulation because we're about to end this first half. But if it's successful, let's say we get to OT, or if we see Organ played by Cyclops again throughout this tournament, and they bring that same setup, it will start getting copied because it's very different, but it makes a ton of sense. Instead of investing in the hard points that we're used to, what they're doing is creating a blender in the site. So, for example, hard points like elbow. If you're holding elbow with that shield, when you lose elbow, you lose the cross. And now the attackers have that in the site. But if you forfeit that cross in the first place, or contest that cross in a very different way that's less rigid, then you have the potential to engage on it and disengage. While in the site, once disengaged, you can create a blender for when the attackers have that control and then punish them for that control. That's what we're seeing from Cyclops. It's quite genius, and I think it plays into the typical Organ basement attacks that we've been seeing a lot lately, and counters it well. And I'm just impressed.
As am I. I mean, Team 1 just look like they have no idea what to do.
That as well.
With Cyclops. They finally started to get some kills on the board there. They over-doubled their previous tally, but it's still just not enough. And you don't just want to fixate on kills, but you kind of need to when it's Team 1. Yeah. Alimau in particular, 0 and 4.
He had those 2 early rounds where he was the first pick, you know, and sometimes when you get tabled like that as a player, it gets in your head. I hope it's not for Alimau because we know what he's capable of, but right now we're not seeing that potential.
There's no way this is going to work out, right? Have they droned him? That's the real question. It looks like they have. A Valkyrie camera thrown up a bit belatedly, and Team 1 are very quickly going to try to take the basement, as we saw some scouting being done by KDS's clone.
This is good control down. Oh, he's going to catch the Valkyrie, but doesn't land the shot. Anitun's going to get out of that unless traces through the wall. No, it's not going to happen.
You heard some screaming in the background there from them, by the way, as it was like, oh no!
Oh, he's going to get me.
I almost got caught.
But he didn't, though, and that's the thing. The lethality for Team 1, just not there right now.
Yep. Lagonis will watch as the carving goes into the reinforcement in attic. Maybe just a line of sight being opened up. Alimau tussling in his very first contest. He'll lose about 25% of his HP. No kill, none successful on his side. Suzu also roaming now, as he'll link up with the Goyo of Ayagator, and Maybe they'll drop. Who knows? Who knows what the strategy is here? They'll take out the castle barricade, so they might want to occupy Freezer. Coil shield's blown up at the back of the stage. And we're halfway through the round.
Well, this is one of the better rounds from Team 1 so far, because they haven't died yet. No one's dead. And that bodes well. Usually Team 1 has dropped a body at this point, or two.
Okay, Gatorada was going to engage up top in Attic. Oh! If they make a move here, they could potentially catch KDS looking. KDS, the marks, and the sounds coming in from the proximity sensor. Lagonis is down for the count. CAG walks away with this one. Neskin picks up 1 kill, but it's outdone by the fact that the Valkyrie continues to reign supreme. Alimao is in, diffuser in hand. Ayagator is dropped. They're watching the flank. SuzuC's next one up. He catches them from the back, securing the kill, trying to transfer. Can't outduel Neskin, who's on 1 HP. Alimao is next to him. It's a 2v2. SuzuC will need to be picked back up. Site control right now for Team 1. Anitun takes out Alimao. Neskin with 1 HP. Gatorada's got the opening from above. And there it is through 5 rounds. Team 1 have mustered nothing. The final defense for Cyclops. And they've got a perfect half brewing.
Very close. They just need one more. It's really impressive stuff from Cyclops so far. The thing that's standing out the most to me, Parker, is that Cyclops is never forcing any kind of awkward engagement alone. There's no... sure, they have isolated engagements, but those are all your standard fare, your expected fights, and often Cyclops are winning those.
Yep.
But when they go for a flank, for example, like in that last round on Tower Stairs, it's never just one. It's always two. Not always from the same location, but they're always converging on the same point and creating a crossfire or just having the refrag potential in the direct fight. I love that. I love, again, the coordination, the communication from Cyclops. It is clearly polished, and it's beautiful to watch. Also, Team 1 are just not prepared for it. I mean, I'm surprised in that last round because I actually saw Levy get a kill on one of the flanking players. And then he just left the flank. He's like, oh no, I got the kill. Surely there's not a second one. And then he turns his back and there's a second one. It's just, I mean, like, you gotta expect it at this point. We're 5 rounds in.
Yeah.
Well, 6, really.
By the way, what's happening right now with Cyclops is what you get when you watch APAC North. And if you think APAC North is crazy, go watch APAC South. Because it is a wild region. And I feel like a lot of people, because of the time zone difference, out in the West as we'll call it, NA, LATAM, EU. Yeah. They don't really watch a lot of APAC Siege. So for them, they see this and they're like, wow, this is wild.
Yeah.
This is what it's always like, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you want riveting non-stop action, guided by a great team of casters, tune into either APAC North or APAC South, because it is really something special to behold. And traditionally it lands, it hasn't really worked out, but APAC are very quietly putting together their best showing that we've seen at an international event in a very long time. Yeah,
there's a combination of things here. I mean, Team 1 are, I'm trying to find the right word, harmless right now, which is unusual for them. So whatever's going on there, it's problematic. I think it mostly is them not being able to expect the play from Cyclops. And you touched on this before we even started, Parker, and I'd like to reiterate it now. APAC are the more aggressive region, and we're seeing that kind of visualized here for us right now.
Oh, absolutely. At the moment, Team 1 looks like a petting zoo. Yeah. So, and there's some heavy petting going on from Cyclops at the moment. Fatal petting, actually. Yes. Don't. But you don't do that at a real petting zoo.
Don't do that. Yeah. Yes. That'd be a bad idea.
But regardless, they are a bunch of fluffy kittens, stuffed animals, whatever you want to call them. Team 1 are toothless, I think was what you said.
I said harmless.
Harmless.
But
toothless is also correct.
Yeah, they both kind of the same vein there. Parker.
Also toothless, cool dragon.
Yeah, that was a really good.
Yes.
Anyway, this clear inside of showers is successful, and that is one of the few little bits of structured strategy we've actually seen in all of these 6 rounds of the first half. They got showers control, but Ayagator's continuing to contest with BlackRay, and this is just, I guess, what you have to expect from Cyclops now.
And they're just holding Team 1 back. They do have a drone in the site to scout off of, so they can very easily see the Wamai of Anitun, and there they go. They collapse on it. Team 1 desperately need to take this round. They have fallen so far behind already. If they can pick up a couple more kills here, then the round becomes imminently more winnable. Ayagator tries his luck, but KDS picks up kill number 2 for Team 1. Could a third be on the board? BlackRay and Gatorada patrolling over by White Stairs. Levy could be the next one in. He catches BlackRay, and he gets fed to by Gatorada, who's now looking for more. He'll push up to small tower. Flank watch has been a particular problem for Team 1. If you're Gatorada, you have to be excited for that. But Lagonis is on that flank watch, and he manages to light him up. The last one left is Suzu, who's above. Keep in mind the sight down below. So this Maestro will make an awful lot of noise, and he'll look the wrong way, get lit up, and he loses the fight. Finally, Team 1 get around on the board.
Wow.
It comes at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and that's what I want to touch on. Look at them. Look at Team 1. They learned what the problem was. They figured it out. But they won the last round.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 5-1 now. Okay, so what did they learn there? What exactly happened? Why was Team 1 successful? They got basic execution down. So that is to say they cleared out the shower's anchor positions, which means that Cyclops can no longer engage, disengage, engage, disengage. When they're engaged, they're fully engaged. There's no retreat. There's no outpost, so to speak. There's no, I get to set my tempo. It's just either Cyclops are fully engaged or they're falling back. And in this case, Cyclops decided to fully invest in the engagement. And then following up that initial clear from Team 1, they just waited patiently. We all saw that push from the Jaeger, for example, down that shower hallway. I mean, he's just waiting. It's just, okay, I know someone's going to push into my crosshair. I will wait for it to happen. And had Team 1 figured that out just a few rounds prior, we might be looking at a much more even scoreline. But
yeah.
Now it's the second half, so.
Well, this is a remarkable showing so far from Cyclops. We still have a nice follow-up match of BDS versus SQ.
That'll be interesting.
And you and I will be voicing that one, of course.
Yeah, it's funny we're already talking about that because I mean, okay, Parker, do you think that now that Team 1 are on defense, that stuff is just going to start changing? Like, are we going to get?
I mean, this looks like a very defender-sided Oregon so far from what we see.
Yeah.
I will, as much as I want to praise Cyclops, and they do deserve it, there's a lot of the issues with that first half were Team 1's inability to be a properly structured and coordinated team.
And they did figure it out.
And yeah, for the last round. But I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So I mean, it could have just been that they caught lightning on one round and that's it.
Sure.
So we'll see what happens now as they have the side working for them. CAG will not be with that Montaigne, which was discussed so much. So there's no shields available for them, and they're not going to bother to run that. Ayagator's on Ash. He's going to need some help in the firepower department because this team is very top-heavy. Gatorada, 11 kills so far through those 6 rounds. That's an impressive tally. Yeah. He's been doing so on fragging rolls, so you're doing your job correctly. The same can't be said for some other players in this lobby. And speaking of doing your job correctly,
that's taking a little bit long. So it actually has to do with the number of ticks, because each tick does a set amount of HP. It's not to do with what you're opening. So you actually don't actually have to do a full circle around it. It's just you have to get those ticks into the reinforcement. And he did it in a way that was very dangerous, but it's job done.
This can also become a very different game very quickly if Alimau finds a kill. He is the only player in the lobby that does not have a kill. He is widely considered to be, at the moment, one of the best players in any region in this game.
Yeah.
Having 0 kills is not where you need your star player to be, especially with how Team 1 had struggles yesterday, despite Alimau playing so well.
Many people hold Alimau in the same regard as Shaiko or Nesk, you know, right up there with all the other legends. And this kind of performance is, I'm not going to say unacceptable, because they make their own leeway. That's why Alimau is where he is. But it is something that will very seriously hold back Team 1, and he's going to need to change it here on the second half. He's got the shotgun on Ella to potentially do that. I think it's a good tool to use.
And they're scouting out where they want to push from. It looks very similar to what we'd seen previously. Oh, no. Well, that's unfortunate for Cyclops, is that, oh my, the sledge of BlackRay has the shotgun. He doesn't have the L85, so this will be fascinating to watch. This is something we have seen before from Cyclops, so it's not that outside the ordinary. KDS is down, so Ayagator will be the spear to walk through Freezer, but he gives his position away right as the smoke clears. One for Anitun. If Cyclops prevails here, this is match point. BlackRay dueling Neskin, but he can't do anything with it. So Anitun's up next, engaging with Alimau. No kill for you, Alimau. Nitro Cell goes off, and it's 2 rounds in a row for Team 1.
So as you said, Alimau not on the board, but the rest of Team 1 is making it work. And look at the smile on their faces. That's great to see. It doesn't matter who's getting the kills for the team, as long as the team is winning rounds, and that's a good mentality to have. Team 1 within 3 of evening this out, and it's definitely not inconceivable. I agree with you, Parker. I think this is going to be a very defender-sided Oregon, but I will say that round was save the last round of the first half. That round was the most close, or the most likely to slide in the way of the team that lost of all of the rounds we've seen so far, and it was just the first attack for CYCLOPS.
Well,
is that a glass?
That is a glass, Michael. Yes.
Attackers need to locate and
Don't see that every day. Big window attack, you think?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams will like
Maybe
to open
attic.
up that one panel leading from the window, throw in some smokes, throw in some candelas, and then vault in the window. You can do something similar with glass, and there's also a Capital on the board too.
You see it with Ying a lot.
Yep.
I mean, it also could be an attic push, because pushing on attic can be difficult. Use the smokes and being able to see through those smokes. But I mean, we do look at this. We've got the Warden on Team 1, so they're ready for it.
I mean, they 6th picked onto that, seeing the glass and the Capital on the board.
Well, the glass was 6th pick too, I think.
I don't believe it was.
I thought it was.
I could be wrong, and I'm
I
happy
could be
to
wrong
admit
too.
if I'm wrong.
It's all moving very fast, Parker. These rounds have been quick.
The glass, funny enough, is not bringing a set of smoke, so instead we'll rely on SuzuC and Anitun to provide that, while the glass can look through it quite readily. Those grenades can also be used to displace when the smokes goes out. So let's say, for example, Anitun smokes. What do you do as glass? You follow up with a grenade, and you blow them up in their place. Glass was 6th picked. You were correct, by the way.
Okay.
It was Ayana that was showing.
Got it.
So the Warden was 6th picked, and they don't know that there's a glass on the board. And until either a default cam goes off or that DMR fires a single shot, there it goes. It's suppressed, though.
No,
so that
was it?
It sounds suppressed.
I thought that the alibi gun yesterday was suppressed. I don't think this is suppressed, man. I don't know. It looks suppressed, too, but I can't tell.
Well, wait, and it looks like it might be an early push. There goes one grenade from BlackRay, trying to push CYCLOPS to match point. Neskin falls, faltering, losing the mute. No nitro cell available.
The rat-tat-tat of that LMG. They're going into the big window, trying to find a target through all the potential lanes. We've got a lot of anchoring positions that are really important here for Team 1, but they're actually pretty far back, all things considered. They're really relying on their presence inside of dorms. And considering there's still smoke on the board for CYCLOPS, they have the play that they want in their pocket. They are going to need to clear out an ADS before they can make that play, but the big window strat could work still.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looked like they wanted to do something a little bit earlier on. It doesn't come to pass, so now they will just wait and devise another strategy, with the focus from CYCLOPS potentially being a back play, and all of Team 1 are looking towards big window.
You know what I think it is, Parker? I think they were trying to bait with the big window play for more picks. They only got one, and that was downstairs, so now they're reassessing their strategy.
I don't know if KDS got spotted on that drone that goes by. The glass could walk into his doom. If the call's been made that trophy is clear, then there will be a problem. But the sound cues will come in from the logic bomb as KDS evades one, flash another. He catches the glass. They thought they had it. And Team 1 have perfectly trapped the last couple members of CAG. Lots of work to be done for them, and they trail in man count by 1 at the moment.
Not easy to recover from this position. Top floor can be held by a skeleton crew. We've talked about it before, and currently Team 1 have the advantage. What's more is CYCLOPS are very spread out, but look at that, KDS goes down. Oh, if that shot had landed from Ayagator, this could be a very different story, but a 3v3 in the last 30.
And this is the last firebolt ready to go on in as Suzu is trying to distract them. KDS is still down, still bleeding out. Suzu will walk in and secure. Ali now looking for kill number 2. He's not going to get it. And CAG come in and just wipe the floor with Team 1.
What?
And complete the cleanup to move to match point.
Wow, what an absolutely unexpected result from that round. And you know what, Parker? At the beginning, Team 1, they're playing passive, and they stay far back from that big window. They let the smokes go out. They don't overpeak. They don't give any picks to the glass. That's great. That's smart. That's what you need to see in that situation. But Team 1 remain passive for the rest of the round. The only extension of their aggression was the Jaeger inside of Trophy, and that's just not enough. Further, he was left on an island, alone, no support. Remember in the first half when we were discussing how Cyclops, every time they went for an aggressive play,
Yep.
there's always someone there to support that player getting aggro. Not so here for Team One.
Well, this has really been an absolute turnaround and a very unexpected result from what we saw from Cyclops yesterday. The story of this event now is Team One will go winless through 3 if they don't put something together very quickly. Is this Team One team went into SI 2021? Looked so strong, looked like they were climbing the ranks, promising young gunners, and they've had a rough showing here in Mexico. What changed over those 4 months?
That's a good question, Parker, and I definitely want to talk to the team about it, get some more insight. Right now, from an outside perspective, I'm getting a lot of G2 kind of vibes. The expectations are high, and they're not meeting them. That's just the nature of the event sometimes. You know, every event is different. We have to keep that in mind. Sometimes things just don't line up the way that you'd like them to. I mean, Alimao, I feel really bad for him because, you know, when you're on the pedestal and you're high up there, when people are praising your name for being one of the best fraggers in the game, and then you drop 1 kill, sometimes it could bring unwarranted hate. And he's not having a good game right now. The rest of his team is trying to compensate. It's not working out. And that is a sign of a lack of depth in the fragging department, I will say that. But I think that there's something more going on here that we don't know. And I can't speculate on it necessarily, but this doesn't feel like Team One that I'm used to seeing.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire event, really, that's been the case.
Well, a loss here for Team One doesn't knock them out of moving past the group stages. But mathematically, it becomes almost insurmountable for them.
Yeah.
So they know that a loss here, in which will be their 3rd loss, only netting a single point from an OT loss they had earlier on, could potentially be the end of them. Gatorada runs in, by the way, and I think CAG's strategy is a bit too aggressive, but SuzuC.CAG's trying to turn the tide, picks off Alimao. Alimao picked up an earlier kill. They'll stare in towards bathroom, as this is a dining and kitchen defense. Suzu could have picked up a 2nd kill onto Neskin, who got a little too aggressive and cute with that window.
Ooh, the flank from upstairs, and Ayagator takes down Levy. That's going to even us out. Once again, Team One had the advantage, and they don't necessarily squander it, but it is taken away from them in this case. The Cyclops on match point have still half the round to work with, and the only disadvantage in the manpower department is SuzuC.CAG's low HP.
Yeah. This is fascinating, using the X-Kairos to open up a line of sight. We don't see this all that often, but I mean, you got to use the tools that are available at your disposal. They'll hack the cams, gain some intel, and then logic bombs will still be available, just a single one. Suzu almost dies there. That is not good. And the last logic bomb will go off. You got to use it lest you lose it. Smoke's still in the hand, as well as Neskin under fire from that Dokkaebi. You don't need more than a single HP to make this work. Anitun could potentially connect onto one more, and Neskin loses his fight. Anitun is still there. Out go the ADSs. Cyclops, just like that, now have an advantage in the final 40 seconds, and they just need to stick with it. Lagonis and KDS will be the ones to try and prevent Team One from losing in what would many consider to be an upset. Lagonis, with a single shot, will be able to take out SuzuC. But what just happened? The last 2 players from Team One pounced upon, and just like that, the match is over. APAC and CAG take it 7-2 over Team One.
Well, Parker, we talked about how the team that decides to play their version of Siege best will be the one to prevail in this match.